Hello. Today we're going to talk about modifiers, more specifically determiners and intensifiers. Let's get started. What are modifiers? So we know that adjectives modify nouns, the blue elephant. We know that adverbs modify verbs, beautifully sang. But we could also have nouns modifying other nouns. We can have verbs modifying nouns. We can have articles, the, modifying the noun. We could have pronouns modifying nouns. Her backpack. And then we've got prepositional phrases that act as modifiers. So into the woods. Okay, where did he go? He went into the woods. Okay, into the woods is acting as a modifier. I don't know why it does that line, but it does. So sorry. Okay, we have determiners. There are four different types of determiners. We have our articles, like I said before, the, woman. Okay. Then we've got our demonstrative pronouns this, these, those. Okay. So those lions. Then we've got our quantifiers. Think of your numbers, how many. And numbers can actually be quantifiers. So, how many people do you have coming? I have 100 people, or I have many people. Okay. Or most people, some people, a few people. Then we've got our possessive pronouns her, his, my, your, their. So, their hair is amazing. There is a determiner, and it's modifying hair. Okay, now remember one important thing about determiners is that they have to come in front of the noun. So you want to make sure that you check that. Okay, so this coffee. Yep, that is a determiner. All right, let's talk about determiners as pronouns for a moment because not all pronouns are determiners. They're just the possessive pronouns and the demonstrative pronouns. All right, so some babies, those shoes, his jacket fits the test. Okay, determiner before noun. Now let's take a look at this. She is a pronoun, doesn't like cake. Well, that's she is acting as a subject, and it's not modifying anything. So it is not a determiner. We, again, a pronoun, but it's a subject. Now, here, this is where some people can get confused. We are letting her go to sleep. Okay, in this case, her, which is sometimes used as a possessive pronoun, is acting more like a direct object. Okay, so it is not a determiner. All right, let's do a tree with modifiers. First thing we do is separate our subject and predicate. So her terrible play and disappointed our audiences. Let's label our parts of speech. Her, we're going to call a determiner, okay, because it's modifying the play. Adjective, noun, verb, pronoun, but I'm going to call it a determiner because it's modifying audiences. All right. I'm going to do the easy part first because there's not a whole lot of description and disappointed our audiences. We put our determiner with our noun to get our noun phrase. We add our verb to get our verb phrase. All right, now play here has two descriptors. Okay, so we've got the adjective of terrible and the determiner of her. So what we need to do to get to our noun phrase is we have to bring this play to a noun bar. Then we need to bring our adjective up to be the adjective phrase. Then we connect terrible and play, not the noun phrase completely yet. That's another noun bar. Then we add our determiner of her to get our noun phrase. Now we can connect our noun phrase and our verb phrase for our sentence. Now we're going to look at intensifiers. Intensifiers are adverbs or adverbial phrases that describe the how, where, why, or the intensity of a verb or adjective. So when I ask my son how his ice cream is, he says it's really, 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 really good, right? He's using a lot of intensifiers here to show how much he likes that ice cream. So here are some of the most commonly used intensifiers: extremely, incredibly, really, absolutely, exceptionally, quite, totally. Now, the difference, or one of the differences between intensifiers and modifiers, is that intensifiers can come either before or after the phrase that it's modifying. All right, let's look at our adverbials as intensifiers. Just a few examples. The acting in this show is absolutely genius. Not just genius, but the intensity of the genius is absolute. The food not just smelled bad, but it smelled really bad. Okay. Then we've got our phrases like a lot, a great deal, much more, quite enough, less than, often used in compare contrast. So I like that novel much more than the other one. How did you like that novel? I liked it much more than the other one. I've had, how much pizza have you had? I've had quite enough. All right, we're going to look at prepositional phrases as intensifiers. The cat in the barn meowed. Now, you can look at this sentence two different ways. You can say the cat meowed in the barn, or you can take a look at which cat. It's the cat in the barn. Okay, so we'll just take a look at this as the cat in the barn. Which cat? The one in the barn. Okay. Yeah. We jumped on the puddle. Where did we jump? On the puddle. Okay. I want to go to the store at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock is our prepositional phrase telling us when I want to go. All right, let's do a tree with intensifiers. We're going to split up the subject. The angry mother stormed into the room. All right, we're going to do the predicate first. We are going to, well, let's do the parts of speech. Determiner the, angry adjective, noun, verb, preposition. Okay, determiner, noun. All right. So the room, boom, we've got our noun phrase. Bring in our preposition, we've got our prepositional phrase. Connect our verb and our prepositional phrase, and we have got our verb phrase. Pretty simple there. Okay, now we've got two modifiers for mother here. So again, we're going to have to bring mother up to an N bar. We're going to have to do an adjective phrase so that we can connect those to another N bar at our determiner for a noun phrase. Now we've got our sentence. And we're going to do one last tree. Now you can't see because I am in the way. So I am going to get rid of myself here so that we can do this tree. The fierce lion roared extremely angrily while it walked at the zoo. The cool thing about this one is that there's two independent clauses functioning here, connected by a conjunction. Okay, so independent clause 1, let's do subject and predicate. The fierce lion. And then roared extremely angrily. Okay, and then we've got it walked at the zoo. We're going to do it walked and separate it with, it's it, and then walked at the zoo. All right. So let's start with the smaller part here. Okay. So we have got it. We've got our pronoun, verb, preposition, determiner the, and noun. All right. So the zoo, noun phrase. Add your preposition to get your prepositional phrase. Add your verb to get your verb phrase. You're going to bring it up to be your noun phrase. You're going to add that to be your sentence because you have one complete sentence here. Now, let's go to the first independent clause. So, we have the fierce lion. Okay, so we have two modifiers for lion. So we got to bring lion up. Well, let's do the parts of speech, determiner, adjective, noun, verb, extremely angrily, adverb, adverb. Okay, so the fierce lion. We're going to go ahead and bring that up to the end bar. Adjective phrase. Connect those with another end bar. Add the determiner to get your noun phrase. All right, here we have got two adverbs. All right, so those are an adverbial phrase. And then we're going to add the word to get our verb phrase. Connect those, and we've got a sentence. All right, now we're going to pull up the conjunction, and in a much more ideal world, it's going to connect here and look a lot prettier. But there you go, modifiers.